I can't believe I didn't die. There was a boulder 6 inches from my head. But I'm here. I'm here to tell the story. And that's why I'm here with you.
You might think you know her, the loud, hilarious, no-nonsense queen from Blackish. With her unforgettable presence in Hollywood and her passionate activism, Jennifer Lewis has always stood out. But there's so much more to her story than what we see on screen, from early life struggles and personal battles to a recent brush with death. Today, we're peeling back the layers to uncover the untold truths about Jennifer Lewis. At 67, she's finally opening up about what we've all been wondering. Buckle up. This is a side of Jennifer Lewis you've never seen before. Jennifer Lewis opens up about her near-fatal accident. Jennifer Lewis is feeling incredibly grateful to be alive after surviving what she describes as an unthinkable and harrowing accident in November 2022. The Blackish star recently opened up about her near-death experience when she fell 10 feet off a balcony during a vacation in Africa. Accompanied by her close friend Lori Patok, the 67-year-old actress visited South Africa and Rwanda, describing the trip as full of laughter and fun. The trip took an unexpected turn, however, when they reached Tanzania for a luxurious stay in the Serengeti. On her first night there, Lewis, who now identifies more as an activist than just an actress or author, talked about how incredibly dark it gets when the sun sets in the Serengeti. Without receiving a tour of the property, she stepped onto her deck to take in the view of the infinity pool, only to suddenly fall into a dry ravine filled with boulders and sharp rocks. A section of the deck hadn't been closed off. "It was not safe," Lewis said. "If you're on a deck, there should be no opening for you to fall through, whether it's pitch black or broad daylight. It was an unsafe deck. There was a dim light, and had there been just a simple caution sign or a 10-foot drop warning, it could have been avoided. But there was nothing. So I'm just walking along, all casual, and then boom, I'm on the ground. It was unreal because I didn't even know I was falling. I just went down like liquid," Jennifer recalls. "I'm lying there. Everything hurts. I try to move, but I can't. I'm coughing in the dirt, and somehow I managed to find enough air to call out for Lori." As she lay there waiting for Lori to get help, things got even scarier. Jennifer says she heard a lion roar nearby and saw a Cape buffalo just a few feet away from her. Eventually, a Doctors Without Borders team arrived, and she was airlifted to Kenya for medical treatment. As I lay in that helicopter drifting in and out of consciousness, all I could hear was my soul screaming, "Whatever this is, Jenny, you'll come back. If you're still breathing, you'll come back," she says. Jennifer Lewis was taken to Aga Khan University Hospital in Nairobi, where she was treated by Dr. Parmena Soroko, an orthopedic surgeon she credits with saving her life. When I arrived at the ER, he was there with his mask on, but I could see his eyes. They were so warm, she says, getting emotional. I had been given a lot of morphine for the pain, but through it all, I saw the kindness in his eyes. I knew I was in good hands. Fighting back tears, she recalls. He looked at me and said, "Your body is broken, and it needs to be fixed." I looked right back and said, "Please, fix me." And he did. He saved my life. Lewis had fractured her acetabulum, the socket of the hip bone that holds the femur in place. Dr. Oroko performed a 9-hour surgery to replace her acetabulum with titanium. She also had 3 blood transfusions and spent 6 days in the ICU before being transferred to another hospital unit, where she stayed for an additional 10 days. "One of the hardest things was that I couldn't laugh anymore," Lewis shares. "I had been laughing so much during the trip, but after the accident, it hurt too much to even chuckle. That was tough for me because laughing is what I do." What lifted her spirits during such a challenging time was the kindness she experienced from the hospital staff, Dr. Oroko's wife, and even the children who would stop by her room. "They treated me like I was a fragile newborn," she recalls. "The care they took, the gentleness in how they handled me, It was just beautiful. They were such wonderful people, Lewis says, adding that she plans to return to Kenya to thank them all in person. After finally returning to the United States, Lewis spent 4 days at Cedars-Sinai Medical Center in Los Angeles for evaluation before being transferred to the California Rehabilitation Institute for 2 weeks. The next 10 months focused on her recovery through at-home physical therapy. Drawing on her background as an athlete and dancer, Lewis was determined to regain her health and return to her active lifestyle. During rehab, when the pain became overwhelming, I would remind myself out loud, "It's just pain, Jenny. It's just pain and it will pass. Keep going, sweetie," she says. "Sweetie." All of my physical therapists were amazed by my attitude, she adds. They would say, "Give me 3 more, Jennifer," and I'd respond, "No, let me do 10 more, 20 more. It's what's inside you that will help you heal. If you choose to sit down and feel sorry for yourself, you won't recover. It's all about getting back up." Lewis acknowledges that her recovery has been challenging, both physically and mentally. Nevertheless, she feels grateful to be alive and believes she now has a renewed sense of purpose. "For the first 5 months, I felt like I was the only person who had survived a plane crash," she shares. "It was overwhelming. How did I not die? What do I do now? I need to earn this second chance. I have to do more for the world and make a difference." The actress says that such a severe accident has left her feeling humbled. Although she experiences some PTSD from the fall, she's only just now ready to share her story for one reason. "I didn't want anyone to know I had fallen until I could show you how I got back up," Lewis explains. "I'm not just a 100% comeback girl, I'm a 2,000% comeback girl. I walk around with my chest held high and a big smile on my face," she says. "I remember where I was 14 months ago, and sometimes I burst out laughing, thinking, 'Go on, Jenny, you did it!' But it took a lot of work. I want to encourage people to take care of your bodies, take care of yourself so you can get back up when you fall." However, that wasn't the only tragic event in Jennifer Lewis's life. Before diving into her heart-wrenching experiences that will truly shock you, let's take a step back and explore how she faced a series of unfortunate events throughout her journey. A startling revelation about early life struggles and personal battles. Jennifer Lewis was born on January 25, 1957, in Kinloch, Missouri, to a hard-working mother named Dorothy and a factory worker father. Growing up as the 7th child in a bustling household, Jennifer often felt the impact of her mother's struggles. "My mama didn't have time to take care of me," she recalls. "There was no affection. She was just 26, trying to manage 7 babies and scrubbing white people's floors. How could she possibly have time to hold me and say, 'Come here, sugar boom boom'? I didn't get any of that." Despite the lack of warmth, Jennifer's mother instilled a strong work ethic in her children. Dorothy eventually stopped scrubbing floors and decided to earn her certification to become a nurse's aide. She said, "I'll be damned if those white people come to my house to check it out so I can get a welfare check," Jennifer explains, recalling the stigma associated with government assistance. "My mother was a gangster, an alpha." Dorothy did everything she could to provide for her family. They faced challenging times, such as when the pipes would break during the freezing St. Louis winters. "We would ice skate on the kitchen floor, running around," Jennifer remembers with a hint of nostalgia. "We didn't even know we were on welfare." With a fierce determination, Dorothy taught her children that they wouldn't be defined by their circumstances. She said, "These people will not tell me what to do with my life and my children. My mother didn't play. She taught me the value of hard work, and that's why I'm still here today. That's why I've been able to sustain a career in show business." From an early age, Jenny Lewis had a light that shone brightly, captivating everyone around her. At just 5 years old, she was already making waves in her church with her powerful singing voice. "Girl, did they love her?" she recalls with a sense of pride. "I was up there singing, 'Oh Lord, you brought me a mighty long way.' I stood there, thumb in my mouth, feeling the energy of the congregation. The church exploded with applause, and in that moment, I went cross-eyed and thought to myself, "Oh, this is life. Uh-huh. I'll take it." I never looked back. Despite the challenges that came with their modest beginnings, the Lewis family placed a high value on education. It was a priority for Dorothy, Jenny's mother, who ensured that all her children pursued academic success. They each went on to earn bachelor's and advanced degrees, breaking the cycle of hardship that had defined their early lives. Jenny herself graduated from Webster College, now known as Webster University, unpacking the untold stories behind the on-screen charisma. As she transitioned from academia to the world of performance, Jenny's journey was marked by significant triumphs on Broadway. She vividly remembers the rigorous process that determined whether students could continue in the theater department. "Let me tell y'all a story," she begins. "Back then, you did your freshman year and sophomore year, and before your junior year, you had to go into Peter Sargent's office. He was the gatekeeper, and he would tell you if you could advance in the theater program. They didn't select any riffraff. When it was finally her turn, Jenny Lewis had an audacious moment that would become a cherished memory. So, he went out of his office when it was my time," she recalls with a chuckle. "I wish I could show you. Look at this. When he came back in, there I was, feet propped up on his desk, completely at ease." The scene was nothing short of bold. Peter Sargent, the gatekeeper of the theater department, walked in and raised an eyebrow. "Jennifer, are you that sure of yourself that you're going to move on in the theater department?" he asked. Without missing a beat, she replied, "Absolutely." "Oh yeah, the memories, child," Jenny reminisces, her eyes sparkling with nostalgia. "They taught me. They trained me at that university. Well, it was a college back then. They saw something in me and knew I was destined for something great." After graduating, she made a pivotal decision to move to New York City, setting her sights on her dream of becoming a star. And guess what? Girl made it happen. Her confidence wasn't just a facade, it was rooted in a history of leadership and accomplishment. "In high school, I was captain of the cheerleading squad. You know, I was a leader. I was born to lead," she asserts proudly. Jenny's dedication and hard work paid off quickly after graduation. She landed her first Broadway show in less than 11 days. "Wow, that's impressive, right? That was my first audition?" she reflects, laughing. "Actually, it was my second audition." Jennifer Lewis clawed her way to Broadway before making her mark in Hollywood, where she became famous for her funny, loud roles that audiences adore. She's had her fair share of memorable encounters with celebrities along the way, from Bill Clinton to Zac Efron, and let's not even get started on her interactions with Oprah. However, as we'll explore, all that glitz and glamour didn't come without its share of challenges and messy moments. Her journey began with a bang as she took the stage in iconic Broadway musicals like Dreamgirls, showcasing her incredible talent and vibrant presence. During this time, she also worked as a backup singer for the legendary Bette Midler, but Jenny wasn't content to limit herself to the stage. She had a burning ambition for Hollywood and was determined to break into the film and television industry. "I knew there was something bigger than Kinloch," she reflects. "I knew I had to get out. Television gave me that out. I watched television." And break in she did. Jennifer quickly became a familiar face in Hollywood, starring in a series of beloved films, including Sister Act, What's Love Got to Do with It, and Think Like a Man, among many others. But it wasn't just her performances that made her stand out. She carved out a niche for herself as the go-to black mama in sitcoms and movies. This character type is loud, sassy, and overflowing with love, yet always ready to put someone in their place if needed. The truth about dealing with personal demons in the spotlight. Whether she's gracing the screen as an actress or standing up for important causes as an activist, she has undeniably made her mark in the Hollywood community. But let's be real, with all that fame, There's bound to be a scandal or two lurking in the shadows. While she was killing it on stage, the real drama was often unfolding behind the scenes. Jennifer wasn't just shining as a Broadway star. Her personal life was equally vibrant and hectic. "I was acting out sexually all over the place," she recalls candidly. "I mean, I was a Broadway star. I would always get standing ovations. How could you not stand up? And I loved that it matched the mania inside of me. That was an orgasm in itself." For her, the adrenaline of performing was intoxicating, and it only heightened her desire for attention off stage. But for Jen, this wasn't just about casual flings. It was an all-consuming need. "I had a sex addiction. I didn't know it at the time. I was just in my 20s and early 30s. Yep, girl was out there chasing men like it was her full-time job," she admits. "No, it was a need. This was a drug, what it felt like. Right after I came off stage, I had to have that rush. I'd find myself a good-looking man. He was definitely my type. Definitely." Jennifer Lewis couldn't get enough. And let me tell you, she always keeps it real. "You like them red boys?" "Yeah, you like them just a little high yellow," she laughs. "I liked them with a fro back then, you know, pretty lips. Does he look like your Miguel?" Her playful demeanor belies a deeper truth. Though she didn't recognize it at the time, she was caught in the grip of addiction. Over the years, Jennifer has become an outspoken advocate about the dangers of addiction in all its forms, encouraging people to seek help and reclaim their lives. "I worked through all of that," she explains. "I wanted to love myself. All those strange men in and out, literally. You know, come on now." Her journey is not just about her experiences with sex addiction. It's a touching account of overcoming adversity and working toward healing. "I'm very open about it so that I can help people. It's not just about my sex addiction. It's about all addictions," she asserts. "What are you going to do about it? Are you eating yourself to death? Are you drinking yourself to death? Are you smoking so much weed that you have no motivation in life? What are you doing?" Jennifer is passionate about this message, reminding her audience that staying in denial can have dire consequences. "But I'm here to tell you this. If you sit in it too long, you stop smelling. You need to face it, confront it, and make a change." Here's the thing, though. Jenny's active sexual life takes on a different light when you learn about her struggle with bipolar disorder. "I was bipolar and didn't know it," she reveals, reflecting on her past. "My life was boom, 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 rush, 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 rush. I wanted to be famous so my mother would love me." In her memoir, The Mother of Black Hollywood, she opens up about her battles with mental health. "I addressed everything in my book," she shares. When asked where she found the courage to be so honest, she answers simply, "I care." Jennifer candidly admits that she grappled with bipolar disorder and depression for years, saying, "The depression became so natural. I didn't even realize it was a problem. It was just part of my life." When reflecting on her breaking point, she recalls a dark time during the AIDS epidemic. "I had a nervous breakdown," she confesses. "A good friend of mine that I respected said, 'I think you need help,' and I was like, 'Oh, I'm Jennifer Lewis. Nothing's wrong with me.' Yes, there was. 33 years of being bipolar and depressed. But through that struggle, she found strength. When you finally break free of that and learn who you truly are, you want to live," she asserts with determination. "I ain't got no more time to waste. I'm 61. I've got about 30 more summers left. You think you get one? Can you imagine trying to hold it together in Hollywood with all that chaos swirling in your mind?" It was like a train wreck waiting to happen. One moment she was high as a kite, buzzing with energy, and the next, she was crashing into a deep depression. Jennifer Lewis openly admits to crying herself to sleep most nights, and on other nights, she found herself tangled in bed with a gorgeous hunk. "Needless to say, my life was one hot mess," she recalls with a mix of humor and resignation. Yet one thing is certain about Jennifer: she never gives up on herself. After years of struggling, she finally made the crucial decision to seek therapy. "It took my therapist 5 years to convince me to get on medication," she reveals. I was like, bitch, please, I ain't getting on that. I'm Jennifer Lewis. You think I'm going to walk around like a zombie? And y'all want to take my edge? This is what I do. Overcoming adversity and the journey towards healing. Let's face it, everyone has one or two painful stories from their childhood, and for Jennifer Lewis, one of the most harrowing experiences was the abuse she endured. I was in the church choir, and our choirs would often visit each other's churches. I was thrilled to ride with the pastor on one of those trips, she recounts, her voice heavy with the weight of memory. I was sitting up front, filled with excitement, when suddenly he pulled over on the side of the road. He leaned over to me in the passenger seat and started kissing me. Jennifer's face contorts as she relives the moment. I gritted my teeth and tried to push him away. He didn't stop there. He tried to put his tongue in my mouth, and his hands were on me. It was gross and disgusting. I pushed him away as hard as I could. In that horrifying instant, the pastor, a man of God, took everything from her: her faith, her trust in authority, and her sense of safety. I had just asked him, "Pastor, do you think I can be a star?" And then he touched me inappropriately. He robbed me of my mother, because after I told her about it, we just buried it and never spoke of it again. He stole my career aspirations, too. That moment was an insult to everything I was, my entire foundation for being alive. The trauma she experienced was profound. Can you imagine being violated by the very person who preaches to you every Sunday? The irony is sickening, and to make matters worse, she never received justice for what happened. Despite the weight of that experience, Jennifer found a path toward healing. I was proud of myself when I confronted the pastor of my church for molesting me. I had to face him. I was able to move on from it, but you never really forget, you know. And I don't subscribe to that "I forgive you" stuff. It's more complicated than that. The traumatic experience with the pastor had a profound impact on Jennifer's faith, leaving her questioning the very existence of God for many years. The betrayal by someone she had trusted shook her to the core, instilling a deep sense of mistrust and disillusionment that would linger well into her adult life. Unfortunately, that moment of darkness was not her last encounter with abuse. When I was about 23, a guy broke into my apartment in New York, she recounted, her voice steady but the memory still vivid. I talked myself out of that situation. It was the greatest performance of my life. Her ability to navigate such a terrifying moment speaks volumes about her strength and resilience. Thank goodness she did, as she had already endured enough trauma for a lifetime. But as life would have it, Jennifer found herself vulnerable once again when she fell for a man who appeared to be everything she dreamed of. He was charming, handsome, and charismatic, everything a young woman could wish for. He claimed to be a graduate of Oxford University and boasted about his time in the Navy SEALs. I was thinking, my God sent this man into my life, she reflected. I didn't even consider that it might be too good to be true. But it turned out to be a romance scam, a cruel twist that left her feeling betrayed yet again. I was investing in a dream, she lamented. This man, whose name was Antonio Wilson, had a way of spinning grand promises, wrapping her up in a web of sweet talk and lofty aspirations. They first met at the gym, where their initial encounter seemed serendipitous. He bumped into me as I was exiting the gym, she recalled. It just happened to be a happy day, and when he did, I smiled and said, "Excuse me?" And he smiled back. The flirty exchange quickly escalated as he complimented her hair, and they decided to meet for coffee. From that moment on, things spiraled rapidly. Jennifer was completely smitten by Antonio, convinced that he felt the same way about her. Their chemistry seemed undeniable, until it all came crashing down in a heartbreaking twist. In a shocking betrayal, Antonio scammed her out of a staggering $50,000. When she discovered the truth, it shattered her world. What made it worse was that Antonio wasn't just a run-of-the-mill scammer. He was a professional con artist. I was conned out of $50,000 by a man who was skilled at this, she explained. He would search for women online, study them, and then devise elaborate schemes to scam them. Unfortunately for him, he picked the wrong woman this time. Jennifer was not about to let this injustice slide. She was furious and determined to fight back. Channeling her anger into action, she took it upon herself to track him down. I kept a private investigator on him for 5 years, determined to put him behind bars, she said, her resolve unyielding. Jennifer was relentless, and her hard work paid off. After gathering enough evidence, she took Antonio to court, ready to reclaim not just her money, but also her dignity. And she succeeded. Not only did she manage to secure a conviction that sent his sorry behind to jail, but she also got her money back. I may be a lot of things, Jennifer declared proudly, but dumb ain't one of them. Antonio, despite his skills, wasn't as slick as he thought. He got caught in the end. Jennifer's fighting side. Jennifer Lewis has had her share of battles with producers throughout her career, especially when they tried to confine her to the narrow stereotype of the sassy black woman. But let's be clear. Jennifer wasn't having any of that. She was determined to break free from these limiting roles and fight for better opportunities and the respect she deserved, no matter who got ruffled in the process. Here's the thing about my career. When the telephone didn't ring, I created my own projects, she declared with fierce conviction. I didn't have time to sit around and wallow thinking, ooh, I didn't get that because I'm black, or, ooh, this didn't happen because I'm black. Honey, I ain't got time for that. I am an entity. I serve all. I entertain. Her unapologetic approach and refusal to conform are what make her such a beloved figure in Hollywood. In addition to her battles in the industry, Jennifer has had her fair share of comedic misadventures. One particularly memorable incident involved her car being stolen right before her audition for Poetic Justice. I woke up that morning ready for yoga and my car was just gone, she recounted, laughter dancing in her eyes. I ran down the street looking for it and the police eventually found it. But guess what? There was Taco Bell in the back. That disgusted me more than the fact that it was stolen. Imagine someone stealing her car just to grab some fast food. Despite the ridiculousness of the situation, her determination didn't waver. When my agent called to tell me I had an audition for Poetic Justice with Tupac, I was like, I'm not going. It's raining, my window's broken, and my car is, well, it's a mess. She vividly recalled telling her agent that she wasn't auditioning for that kid, referring to the young director John Singleton. But she convinced me to go, and I had to drive down the 45 in a storm, rain pouring in through the broken window from where my car had been stolen. Oh God, that audition was so far away. When she finally walked into the audition, there was John Singleton, young and adorable, sitting there waiting for her. She read for him, and with her signature boldness, she quipped, "Little boy, just get me the job, would you?" And of course, Jennifer landed the role in Poetic Justice. She still remembers teasing Tupac with a playful, "To be doing this post office forever, don't be cussing around me, boy. Who do you think I am, one of your friends? Be glad you got an honest job." But Jennifer is more than just an actress or an activist. She's an avid traveler who has explored the world and embraced nature as a life partner. From the bustling streets of New York to the serene landscapes of the world, she sees beauty everywhere. For her, every journey is a new adventure, adding richness and depth to her already vibrant life. Her journey has been one of resilience, self-discovery, and unapologetic authenticity. From battling industry stereotypes to overcoming personal traumas, she embodies the spirit of perseverance and creativity that inspires so many. What aspect of Jennifer's journey resonates most with you? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into the life of Jennifer Lewis, don't forget to like and subscribe for more inspiring content.